I think if I hear you call me Becky one more time, six-pack, I'm gonna pop your tops. All six of them.
Who are you?
Hey, this is Matt once again. What about to another review? And this is a request for Planet Mars 2030. This is a Patreon request. Thank you so much for that. People want to request pretty much a video. You request to either send it directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. American Mary, I didn't really know what this film was about. I just, based on the cover, I thought it was about some serial killer maybe called American Mary, but maybe nicknamed Bloody Mary, something like that. And she does get the nickname Bloody Mary, but not for what I thought it was going to be. And that's kind of what made the film interesting. Overall, I did like it. Katharine Isabelle, she was in Freddy vs. Jason, she was in Ginger Snaps. She's the star here. And sorry, I'm still dealing with this stupid sickness. Katharine Isabelle is a medical student who wants to be a surgeon one day. And she has this asshole teacher, and she's behind her on her bills. She's low on cash. So then she gets on, it's not Craigslist, but pretty much Craigslist, looking for psychics. You know, sexual massages, get paid to do that, whatever to get some money. Real quick, real fast. So she's doing this interview, and at the same time, someone is in trouble. Someone needs surgery at this club. And the guy goes, hey, it says on your credentials, you're studying to be a surgeon. $5,000, you do this, you're in and out, no questions asked. She does that, and then word spreads. And what she gets pulled into is the world of body modification. And that's what made this film interesting to me. A surgeon or a medical student surgeon being involved in the world of body modification. Now, what do I mean by that? Very soon she gets offered a job by this girl who has surgically altered herself to look like the cartoon Betty Boop. And she's speaking like Betty Boop, and her figure, even her face, is trying to look like the Betty Boop cartoon. And that's when I'm watching this film, I went, this got really interesting. Where is this going to go? And she offers her a job and a ton of money to help this other girl who wants to modify her body to look like a doll. She gives her reasons for it. What do I mean by a doll? Take off the nipples, take off the extra bits, sew it up. Which I'm thinking, if you sew it up, how you don't go to the bathroom? But I don't know. You know, number one, I don't know. And then she gets into this world where she gets hired more and more. And that's what kept the movie interesting me. Like, what would happen next? What other body modification would someone want? Some people have tons that split in half. So, like, how do I put it? Imagine the tongue split in half, and so it can wiggle like this. Some, they get implants here to look like horns. And now this is a real thing. People do get these modifications, but there's not a lot of films that really delve into that. So I thought that was the interesting part of the movie. So that story and Katharine Isabelle's performance, I thought really made the film, for the most part, work. To me, the ending is the crappiest part of it, because the ending seems very abrupt, unsatisfying, almost anticlimactic, which I'll get to that. That did hurt the film quite a bit, but it was interesting, like, seeing this Betty Boop girl and then these modifications people want. There's a little bit of revenge part of it in the movie too. At one point, her teacher takes her to this party where she gets drugged, raped, but then remembers what happens. And let me put it this way, that teacher gets his just desserts. You may not think so at first because it cuts to black, but trust me, that teacher gets his just desserts. Maybe I'll talk about that more in the spoilers, but some cops, they'll look into a disappearance of someone. You get the idea of the lead girl, she's getting a little bit more crazy because of all this stuff going on, and people still keep calling her Bloody Marys, and she's doing more and more of these body modifications, and she seems like she's losing it a bit. I thought the ending, a lot more could have been done with that. A lot more. And I gotta get into spoilers starting now. Like some of the, well, I talk about the before I get to that, the more of the stuff I liked. Like I said, that the teacher dies just desserts. It cuts to black. I'm like, oh, okay, we don't get to see. Well, we do, because at one point she goes into somewhere and there's the teacher and he's hanging from hooks and he has no legs and he has no arms, and his mouth's been sewn shut, but he's still alive. I'm like, well, that'll teach him. I definitely surprised the fuck out of me. I'm like, oh shit, okay. Then you get the idea that maybe a relationship is starting between her and this guy who works at the club, and maybe they'd be more into it between the two. Her mind is going more and more because, like, her grandma dies and all this other stuff happens. More modifications, like these, it's actually the directors are these two girls, the Soska sisters, which I want to see if they're who I think they are. They are in the film as well as two twins that want modifications. Again, this is spoiler section, guys, where they want to change each other's left arms, and they want other modifications, like the implants to look like they're almost got horns coming out. As I said, a lot of this interesting, and oh yeah, they did See No Evil 2. I hate that movie. Sucked ass. This is a lot better than See No Evil 2. Wow, they actually did Vendetta with Dean Cain and The Big Show. I've never seen that film. And they remade the David Cronenberg film Rabid, and they did that movie, which no, I never saw the remake. I don't even know if I've seen the original Rabid, let alone the remake. But while there are some nitpicks that you have leading up to the ending, it seemed like a bit more was going to happen between the club owner and Katharine Isabelle's character. Like maybe that was leading more into somewhere, and it really doesn't. But even that kind of goes to the finale, which I thought was really fucking lame. Because what happens at the finale that girl that wanted to be a doll, her husband finds out what happened. She doesn't like it. I mean, he doesn't like it. He beat the fuck out of the Betty Boop girl to get info. Goes to find Katharine Isabelle, and like out of the blue, stabs her. She, I guess, bites his neck, so he dies. She crawls away to try to sew herself up, and then she dies. Then the cops find the crime scene, the two people dead, and then this crappy fucking dark rock music starts playing the end credits. I went, that's it? Like, really, that's it? I mean, to be perfectly honest, I don't think the character even deserved to die. I mean, I get that she was getting loopy, but I guess there is the moment, to be fair, where a security guard finds the, well, rapist, really, her former teacher rapist. Of course, the guard doesn't know anything, and she beats the fuck out of him, kills him. So technically you just say that's when she's gone too far. So maybe I take back that statement, but I don't know, just... Yeah, I just, now that I remember that, okay, she dies, but it just seemed like there was a lot more that was going to happen, like a lot more into the world of this body modification stuff, or a bit more into the world of... Honestly, I think it would have been better. Maybe you can have... I'm trying to think off the top of my head. Honestly, part of me wonders if you should take a little nod from Freaks. Remember that movie Freaks with Todd Browning? Like maybe have the guy taste the girl, and then the Betty Boop can call all the people that Mary has modified. They all get to this doll's husband, attack him and kill him or knock him out. I would say knock him out, and then they release Mary, and they look at Mary as this type of god. They look at Mary as this type of figure they worship because of all the great work you do. We need you to continue this work on us. Do what you want with this guy. And then she makes her masterpiece, and they all like, oh. I don't know, I just imagine a group of people who's been modified all around watching as Mary, for the public, does her best modification on this husband who didn't like that his wife turned herself to a doll. I'm like, well, blame your wife. She only did what she was paid for. Blame your fucking wife. She's the one who wanted it. And for some reason I keep thinking, I wouldn't have him say one of us, but I'm thinking of the movie Freaks. But like all the modified people, they're just staring at Mary, and she's doing her best work, and then her grandiose, and to be this sick, disgusting, crazy modification, her best work yet. And then from now on, she has accepted her life fully as this Bloody Mary. And the cops who looked into it, they can't find anything. And either she's goes with the club guy, or she doesn't. Have a finality to that subplot, which really doesn't have much of finale to it. I think that would have been a much more satisfying ending than just, oh, this guy stabs her, and then she bites his neck, then she crawls and dies. Like, really, that's it? That's what you said. It just felt anticlimactic. It felt like, that's it? I prefer my idea better, and there's, I'm sure, better ideas. I'm just thinking off the top of my head. Some of the music I didn't care for. Like I said, the shitty dark rock music crap that was at the end credits, that appears a couple times. I didn't care for that. The directed by the Soska sisters, it's fine for what it was. I didn't really can't think of anything that horrible. The makeup effects are pretty good during the surgical sequences. They look fairly realistic. Like the Betty Boop with her face, and when the doll lady, like some pretty good makeup effects. stellar effects. And just the idea, I do like the idea behind it. I think Katharine Isabelle pulled off well, where you felt sorry for her, and then you saw how she was losing it more and more, and you could tell she was getting more, she was losing her emotions, so to speak, and getting like deader and deader inside, with her just less emotions on her face, more about the work, more losing her humanity. I thought that was accomplished fairly well with Katharine Isabelle's performance. Again, overall I liked it because it was an interesting story. It's a story that I can't think of many films particularly going to that route. The ending, though, needed a lot of work. The ending is just really lame. And to be honest, I probably wouldn't watch the film again because of that. But yeah, if you really had the gonzo ending, the type of gonzo ending you would see in, what the hell is that movie? Society. Like, you think of how crazy the ending of Society is? Like, if you have an ending like that, where you see the whole variety of people who are been modified, and like I said, I think that would have been something, but I think the ending, they dropped the ball. With this said, I'd still recommend the film because of the story. Well, most of the story, and Katharine Isabelle's performance, and the whole, again, the body modification thing, like the Betty Boop girl, that it's at least a bit unique. It's not something I see every day, and that's not always a positive, but lately it has been for me. Is I like familiarity as much as anyone else, but I'm still open to something different. So with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. We will see you guys later. Bye-bye.